Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Upkick MMA episode 432. I am Brennan, and this is going to be the breakdown of the PFL Battle of the Giants, Super Fights, whatever it was. We're going to talk about that. The stuff with Francis Ngannou taking on Renan Ferreira. We're going to talk about that fight. We're going to talk about the rest of them on the main card, minus one of the showcase ones. We're going to cover the title fights, that kind of thing. We're going to break all those things down, go through them round by round. If you like this kind of thing, subscribe to the channel. That way the next video is coming out. I'd appreciate it. And if you do find yourself liking this video, hit the like button. All right. So for those of you guys who are familiar with my channel, you know I normally pull up stats and I do all that stuff. PFL, despite being the league with the smart cage and all the statistics and all this shit, still refuses to, for some reason, to post round by round stats. They don't even do it during the fight. I don't understand it, right? They have all this money they dumped into Bellator. They have all this money they put in there. They get all this money from the Middle East, blah, 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 and they still don't fucking put the stats up anywhere. It's not that hard. I know you're keeping track of them because you're keeping track of the total fight. Just put them up somewhere. Put the round-by-round stats up. And then what's even worse is that for this card, nothing. They didn't put up a single stat for any of their shit. Was it because it was a pay-per-view, you're thinking? Oh, maybe, right? Yeah, like, oh, maybe they don't want to put the stats up because it's a pay-per-view. Nope, wrong. Because this fight wasn't on the pay-per-view, and it still isn't up there. This is so stupid. What are you doing? It's like they took the worst aspects of Bellator, making fights harder to fucking watch somehow, and making it more difficult to even get a chance to look at some of their fights, some of the best fights that they're going to put on, and then getting rid of all the stats that they already had. I have no idea who's running their show, but their presentation quality is shit. The lighting was bad. It has taken like I said, they've taken all the bad habits of Bellator and brought them over. Holy crap, this is annoying. Anyway, let's talk about Francis Ngannou. He's back. Right? You know, he took that stint over in boxing to go make some money. Good for him. I wasn't a fan of his exit of the UFC. Again, if you're a fan of the channel, if you watch me for a while, you know that the way that he left the UFC, right? I wasn't a fan of. I wasn't saying like people are saying, well, man, he fumbled the bag. By the way, I hate that phrase. It's so stupid. I can't wait for it to die. It might have died already. But people saying like, oh, he screwed up, this and that. No. I was pretty sure that like him leaving the UFC was a good move business-wise because he was going to find money elsewhere. I wasn't worried about the money. I was worried more about his notoriety and the people paying attention to him and considering him the best in the world. Does a win over Renan Ferreira, which is what happened, right? For 60 seconds, the only thing landing is low kicks in here, and Ngannou gets a takedown at 355. There are that's the other thing. What the fuck is going on in Riyadh? There were air horns. Air horns. You know the shit that they bring to soccer games? And what the fuck are you guys doing? This backwards ass bullshit. It's taking the sport backwards. Like, I have no idea this classless crap that they're doing over, like, the last time when the PFL, they had, like, random ass people come and sitting in the cage. Like, you can talk shit all you want about the UFC's, like, lack of payment and the fact that they're a monopsony, and all of those things are valid. Should they pay the fighters more? Absolutely. Could they be more involved? All the criticisms, or most of those criticisms, are valid. What you can't criticize them for is being professional. Like, I don't know of a better way to experience mixed martial arts for a newcomer than by showing them a UFC card. Just in general, that's how I would do it. Oh my God, I'm going on these diatribes. Let's get to these freaking fights so we can go through stuff, because some long fights from the title ones. Anyway, Ngannou gets a takedown, right, at 355. Not much going on, and then he starts landing some big left hooks, and he gets a TKO finish. Absolutely fantastic finish for Ngannou. Let's see here. Let's see if I get pulled for this one. Probably not. Let's do a quick bam. 1, 2, 3. Right. Oh, you're a wrestler now, huh? Oh, you're a wrestler now. Yeah, so Ngannou found the path of least resistance here, which was getting him down to the ground and getting control. Landed some of these big shots. And that's the end of it. Yep. Oh, my goodness. There's so many big shots. But yeah, Was it the most exciting fight? No. Was it a classic Ngannou fight? No. This might be the more modern Ngannou, right? Against a grappler, he might want to stay on the feet and slang and bang with him. And then against a striker, somebody like this, like a Renan Ferreira, who's an incredible striker with like incredible, like a ton of physical tools, super tall, very athletic, very quick. He's got all of the physical attributes and the physical gifts, but has problems on the ground. So this might just be a smarter version of Ngannou, where we might not get the most exciting fights anymore, but we might get more wins. And then especially with him being outside the UFC and heavyweight being as thin as it is anyway, is there a thing called such as an anti-pun? Like you could say like, oh, because heavyweight's fat, right? But most heavyweights aren't thin. You know what I'm trying to say? Stupid. This card threw me for a loop. I'm serious. Like watching it, it felt like a second-class organization, a third-class organization. I felt like I was watching local MMA. I felt like I was watching something at my local gym. That's how bad this was. A horrible presentation. Congratulations to Francis Ngannou. I really mean that. I think him coming back to MMA after his semi-successful stint in boxing, obviously having that closer fight with Tyson, the fat corpse of Tyson Fury, and then getting finished by Anthony Joshua, but making a ton of money in the process, which is good for him. Like that's better for him in the long run than legacy. You know what I mean? For those people out there who are like legacy is all that matters, I'm like, great. I'm sure that your grandkids who are poor or your family who's starving is really going to appreciate somebody playing replays of you 10, 20, 30 years from now, as opposed to like the generational wealth you're able to accrue from going and exploring other options like he has. So good for him for doing that stuff, and good for him for taking care of himself and his family and his future. So I really have nothing bad to say about that stuff. I think that's fantastic business wise. Like it's just a shame that no one's going to watch this. Like virtually nobody's going to watch this shit anymore. All right, let's talk about this. Whatever you want to call it. I guess it was a world title fight. The featherweight world title. They call it the world featherweight title. Yes, technically, because the UFC doesn't have one anymore since Cyborg left. We don't have to get into that right now. But anyway, Cris Cyborg taking on Larissa Pacheco. God dang. It's so hard to be nice about these things. Both women have clearly been on extra legal substances, okay? It's completely obvious. There's nothing about them that looks like natural anymore. And they're fighting overseas, they're fighting in a different organization, not getting tested. I have no problem with people doing that. But when you put to like I don't know. I don't want to get into that right now. It's not the point of this one. They both land some hard jabs. This was an odd fight, right? Pacheco looking to pressure Cyborg and get the body lock. Cyborg gets the body lock and they separate. Cyborg gets a beautiful power double. I was like, what the fuck? Since when is she like smooth with her wrestling? She looked great in the grappling exchanges. They get back up, clinch work for Cyborg. They separate. She lands a nasty left hand. Pacheco wobbles a bit. Cyborg gets a double, falls into a loose guillotine, but ends up on top. She did plenty of damage, plenty of control this round, 10-9, easy for her. Second round, Pacheco still refuses to take a back step. She's tough as shit. She's got, great traps, some built shoulders. This guy's pretty good. Cyborg gets her into the clinch, landing an elbow, nasty back fist. A pretty funny one. She throws the elbow over the top, and then she, just like Andrei Arlovsky, instead of coming back with the left hook, she just comes back with the back fist. It was kind of cool. Cyborg with a great takedown again, spending 2 minutes on the ground, 20-18. Clearly her first two rounds. Okay, so they separate. They stand in the center, and this was kind of like a shit show moment where like Pacheco refused to go engage and Cyborg also refused to go engage. It's such a joke when this kind of shit happens. Good right hand from Pacheco. This is a shit round. She's on top. I think she landed more in this round. I had her up 29-28, or I had Cyborg up 29-28 going into the fourth. Low kick from Pacheco looks good, but then she doesn't throw any more of them. I don't know what the fuck she was doing. 2 more minutes of nothing, Cyborg landing in a blitz. I think Cyborg landed the better shots in this round. There just wasn't much to score. I had her up 39-37. Last round, this fight is so much nothing. A lot of nothing going on. Cyborg taking big shot, then presses forward, landing a huge right hand. Pacheco shoots a single, looking to get a break. I don't know if she thought she was up and she was trying to, or if she's just tired and she goes for a takedown. Like, a lot of times you'll see people, especially veterans, when they know they're up, they just go for that takedown and kind of like, eke out the round just like on top, lay and pray type of stuff. But nope, she does. She wasn't up, first of all, and then she doesn't get it, so she ends up on bottom, takes a bunch of damage. Cyborg gets a takedown for some control to end the fight, and this shitty round I obviously gave her, but I also gave her, I gave her 4 of the rounds. I had her winning 49-46. 2 of the judges saw it the same way. That's the way. That's the correct score in my opinion. Let's move on. I'm less impressed by Larissa Pacheco or beating Larissa Pacheco. I don't give a crap about any of that stuff. I don't think she's very good to begin with. And this whole thing, like, oh, if these 2 women stepped into a room with the other top 20, I don't think these 2 would. But no. Pacheco is not that good. There's a reason she's not in the UFC anymore, right? Yes, she has a win over Kayla Harrison. It was just kind of stupid, and also like, she's just big. I mean, she's even bigger than Cyborg. Cyborg has to cut weight to make 145. Pacheco is fucking huge, right? Kayla Harrison can make 135 and has successfully made it and won in the UFC at 135. Pacheco, I guess technically she could probably make 135, but anyway, let's just move on. Let's go to the other title fight. Relatively technical, but kind of boring as well. Johnny Eblen versus Fabian Edwards. Again, I don't have a lot of highlights from these either, because it was just, so much like pitter patter and then control, pitter patter and control. They trade low kicks. Eblen looking to counter the kick with a right hand. Edwards looking for that rear uppercut, which he eventually did find the mark. Eblen catches him a couple times with that right-hand counter, and Edwards drops for a second. Eblen with a great entry to the body lock, lift and slam, gets a few of those, mat returns. Great round for Eblen with decent damage and great control. Obviously, his round 10-9. Second round, Edwards looking to use those low kicks and grab the lead hand to keep that range as he retreats, looking for the pull counter, and he landed a beautiful pull counter, like a straight left. So pretty. Did a great job with it. Edwards I think he made a good account for himself. I think he will kick himself for the fact that he didn't turn it up as much as he could have. He might have been pacing himself. I said himself a lot. He might have been pacing himself because he didn't want to gas out, didn't want to get tired against Eblen and end up on his back and then not be able to get back up. So I understand that. It's a cost-benefit type of deal, right? Like, the cost of not using a lot of your energy is you don't put yourself in a position to put out a lot of offense. But then in moments, these are those mat returns. Lots of those. It was a great, it's a very technical fight, and I think for a hardcore fan, this was not that bad. But, I don't think anybody is clamoring to watch these guys fight for a third time. Eblen gets him down, gets control for 2 minutes. Edwards just not landing enough on the feet. And Eblen's up 20-18. Third round, a little bit more interesting. Edwards again finding success with those low kicks, the pull counters in the open, stabbing some kicks to the body, which I think he should do more of, and then he starts throwing them. Eblen able to get the takedown, just not able to do much with it. I think Edwards won this round. So the commentary, if you listen to them, they think Eblen won this. I don't think so. I think this was Edwards' round. That being said, he's still down 2-1, right? It's 29-28 going into the fourth round. He really needs to win both of these rounds. So he can't take a round off. He can't miss a step. He's got to win this next round. Edwards doing a fine job again until he gets taken down at the 310 mark. Eblen able to stay on top, get the back, that lift again, that same thing he was doing, that back body lock lift, the mat return slam. and they don't get up until there's 20 seconds left, it's just not enough from Edwards. He needed to stay on the feet longer. He really needed to put an emphasis on that stuff. And Eblen was just able to implement his game plan better. So it's 39-37, and Edwards needs a 10-8 for a tie, which won't give him the title necessarily, but or he needs a finish. Really bad eye poke from Edwards to start the last round. They start back up in the then he kicks him in the nuts. It wasn't a direct kick. It was the drag on the pull down. So he kicks forward into the stomach, and on the way down, catches the cup. Still not allowed to do it. It doesn't matter how you touch the cup. You're not allowed to strike the cup. Edwards finding more success this round and able to stay on the feet. I do give it to him, right? I gave him this last round. I had it 48-47. All three judges saw it the same way. The thing is, you just can't find 3 rounds in there for Edwards. As much as, like I said, he made a good account for himself, I don't feel like he did enough. He really needed to turn it back up for those 4th and 5th round, and he didn't either have it, or maybe Eblen is just that good. I do think Eblen's great, by the way. I don't think he's a bad fighter. All right. Now this one surprised me. I know we're going long. I know this is going to be a longer video. There's so many title fights. AJ McKee taking on Paul Hughes. This one surprised me. Jab from McKee landing and going with some good volume, landing well. Apparently there was a low blow from McKee, but the ref says to continue anyway. McKee keeping the pressure on against the cage. Hughes really wants to land the knees as McKee changes levels. I thought for sure that he landed a couple, he landed them, but in the replays he just didn't. McKee shoots another takedown. Hughes sprawls and floats over the top, keeping McKee on his back, landing some standing ground and pound. McKee is just landing up kicks and looking for leg entries, but he spent so much time on his back that it's just, there's not effective offense from there. McKee waited way too long, and then right before the end of the round, a huge right hand, like a flying knee and a huge right hand from Hughes, and honestly, there was a little bit of strike. There was some confusion at the end of this. The referee did not stop it at the end of the round, which is really weird. He didn't, I don't know if he didn't hear the buzzer, didn't count to 10. I think it was Dan Miragliotta. He screwed up. That was bad. Luckily, McKee didn't take a lot of damage after that. It was a couple shots to the body, but unneeded. 10-9 to Hughes. Second round, McKee is using the oblique click to the lead leg really well. McKee looks content to keep him clinched against a cage or stay all the way out. McKee side kicks him in the junk now. Hughes able to pressure and land with almost no fear of anything coming back at him. McKee was not able to get the respect, and he ends up Hughes ends up overextending at one point. And McKee was able to get some back control time, but it was right at the end of the round, right? We're talking about 30 seconds, 45 seconds, just not enough. And Hughes is up 20-18. So now in the 3-round fight, McKee needs a finish here or a 10-8 to get the draw. Similar situation with McKee staying on his back too long. This time he did get up, but he spent too much time on his back in this last round. When they separate, Hughes starts finding the mark on the cage again, and McKee looks like it looked like he was tired. It looks like he did not enjoy his trip to the Middle East. I think he looked off. I think something was wrong. When I watched that, you guys let me know what you guys thought if you watched it. I didn't think that was AJ McKee. That's how bad he looked. I didn't feel like that was AJ McKee. So good on Hughes, but I think he got lucky that he caught McKee in the condition that he was in. Something was up. That did not look like him. Rufián Stotts taking on Marcus Breno. This did not look good for Stotts in the first round. Breno on the front foot looking to land the 1-2, finding success to the body, doing big damage. Stotts is having problems trying to get off the cage, looking to dive on a leg, just getting tagged. Stotts finally able to get something going with his wrestling, using the single leg to get to the back and staying on top. Stotts finding success with the grappling later, but that's just not enough to take this round. He's down 10-9. It really looked like Breno was going to be winning this one. The left kick to the body from Stotts was good in the first round and was successful here in the second. It's just obviously 1 or 2 body kicks in a round isn't going to win either round unless you hit him in the liver. That Breno sitting down on his shots, but not keeping as much pressure on in this round. So to start this round, it looked like either Breno was moderating his energy or he was actually tired. Stotts jabbing his way into the takedown and getting the back control, working his way back up the top, on top into the crucifix. you can end a fight from there because they can't intelligently defend themselves. Stotts with a ton of control and enough damage to win this round. So about 2 minutes into this round, you can kind of see like, okay, Stotts is doing things that he needs to do to kind of put himself in a position to win this. And as the round went on, he was like, okay, I got this. I'm figuring it out. 19-19 going into the last round. Stotts using the jab and the left kick to the body, finding success with that left straight, even being backed up against the fence, he was still able to land. Brendo gets the double leg, but gets stuck in a guillotine. Stotts retains half guard, then walks over, just hips over, and gets into top half control. And then there's a small window. He takes the back and immediately gets a rear naked choke. It was fantastic, very fast. Rufián Stotts. Yeah. Right in. And it's already in there. He gets the finish. That was fantastic. Stotts looked great. It didn't start out so well. It looked like he had a little bit of jet lag as well. I don't know what's going on when people go over to Riyadh, but it seems like something's up. Like some fighters, I don't know. I'm all for fighters making more money, so they got to do what they got to do. But when you're going over these places and compromising your health, compromising your ability to fight, even Eblen said he needed to probably go out there earlier, so he went out there 10 days early. Maybe Stotts and maybe AJ McKee went over there like a week earlier, or whatever. They needed to go over there earlier, so. Because of that, things looked a little bit off, but that does not explain the lighting or any of the other shit like this second-class, third-class organization has put together. This presentation was bullshit. These Instagram videos are better than when you watch it live. That's how fucking bad this was. Go look at the photographs from this. You'll see how bad the lighting was. It was horrible with the air horns and the shit that's going on. Like, clean up your act and make this more professional. It's called the Professional Fighters League, and you guys look like a backyard organization. It's unreal. I usually dog your commentary sometimes too, but I couldn't even pay attention to the commentary. Like, the video was so bad. Like, the presentation was so bad. Anyway, I appreciate y'all for stopping by, listening to my diatribes. Let me know what you guys thought about the fights if you did watch them. If you didn't watch them, let me know why you didn't watch them. I'm serious. Why didn't you watch them? Was it because you don't care about the PFL, or was it you're not spending money to watch this shit organization? If you like this kind of thing, subscribe to the channel. That way you know next video is coming out. And if you like this video, hit the like button. I'd appreciate that too. So I appreciate y'all. Have an amazing week. Love y'all. Peace.